frankly, it is an amazing book, the Bible. And what a lot of people do not realize is it is a multi-layered book. And in the Hebrew original language, there are 5 meanings to each word, actually. And that is why, if you are studying the Bible, you don't need just the King James Version, which has lots of errors in it, incidentally. You need a whole lot of other versions to throw light on the actual meanings. So, when I'm studying something, because I cannot speak Hebrew and would love to do it, now I must really admit that, but there are men who've written books that can translate those words into the real meanings, and Strong's happens to be one of them, and there's a whole lot of others like that, and there's a whole lot of other Bibles that you use as well to get to the bottom of the meanings. So I do a lot of study, but I've also done a lot of study of history. History from a very young age. I was passionate about history, somewhere around about the age of 10. And nobody knew that, because I was a rugby player, and I sailed, and I surfed, and I climbed mountains, but that was in the background from a very young age. I also had a family who was interested in current events, so I know a lot about the history of my age and current events today. I do not just read the Times, I read other reports. People like Vice and people like McIlvaney and a whole lot of others which most people haven't heard of. And these people are highly informed about what the situation is. So in 10 weeks' time or 20 weeks' time, when the Times finally gets around to reporting, it's already passed and gone. So a lot of these papers are excellent, but they're more for entertainment than actual news, as far as I'm concerned. So let us look at this Bible in a different light, and it's about time that all those people who feel, I'm not here to try and talk to the converted to evolution and who are sold into that. We're not interested in those people. We can't help them, quite frankly. But there's a lot of people out there who don't know the truth and are wondering what life is about. Please have a look at this site up here. We're putting this together, and we're putting in very informative information that have been found by men who've dug in the earth in the heat of the deserts, etc., to find this. And I admire those men, because I haven't done that. But I believe in studying what they have to say and seeing the evidences and seeing the stuff that they've brought out. And it's not being published. It's either too expensive, it's just not being handed out. And the churches, the average church, like the Church of England, Methodist Church, Catholic Church, are certainly not talking about all this evidence. And YouTube has this information on, and I'm gathering a whole lot of this stuff under that site, because we've got to thank YouTube for giving these men the opportunity to publish the fantastic stuff they've got there. So please visit that and think of YouTube and the fantastic facility, because all my life we've never been able to see this. Libraries are great, fantastic. The trouble is, you've got to go there, you've got to find those books if they've got them, and if they've even been published on this stuff. For instance, just in the last 4 years, 4 years, that is 4, 4 years, there's been 1,000 points, reference points found in the Bible. That's just 4 years in one area called Manasseh. And the thing about the Bible is, we know now, it's the most checked out book in history. I mean, there's nothing more checked out. Certainly not evolution has been checked out, and they haven't been able to find any transitional forms. And there's a whole lot of other stuff, that we're putting on this site by experts, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It just does not stand up to it. Matter of fact, a lot of them are even saying that the fossil record does not support the concept of evolution. And why is that? Well, they tried the coelacanth, and then they found the coelacanth was an existing fish, and it was the one fish that could never crawl out the oceans. And then they said, oh, well, here's Piltdown Man, we found this, isn't this fantastic? And then they found it was a fraud. But that wasn't the only one. There's a whole lot of others like them. That isn't the only one that they put, about another 8 or 9 or 10 that were also frauds. And then the last thing that came was a tooth of a pig. I can't remember the name of that thing. But this was the proof of the link, the man, etc., that was a link between apes and man and all this sort of thing, and it was all put out there until some guy who knew about pigs in South America said, actually, that's the tooth of this pig over here, because he was an expert and a doctor in those pigs, and he knew all about it and agriculture and this sort of thing, and they had to whip that one out. So there hasn't been one thing that they've tried to put up that stands the test, and they know that there are the billions of fossils they've got in drawers, and the fossil record certainly doesn't support it. But in any event, Go to these sites. Do not argue with me. I'm just reporting what others have gone into the ground and dug up and found. And what, incidentally, when you go onto those sites, you'll find that the men who are the high priests of this belief, which is a faith now, and one of them actually says it is a faith, have said, please do that, don't argue with me. And, you know, if you want to use your bad language, etc., go and use it on them, but go and have a look at the facts. Don't argue with me. I'm just the reporter. Thank you very much.